Okay, what's up, guys? You're all welcome to today's Zoom meeting. And for today's meeting, we'll be looking at how to how to host a Zoom meeting, how to join Zoom meeting, and how to use some of the basic features of Zoom meeting. Now, immediately you log into your Zoom meeting or host a Zoom meeting, the first interface you will see is going to be something like what you're seeing right now. But it's going to have some features like this. It's going to have some of these features on it. Yeah, it's going to have some of these features on it. Now, if you look at these features, you will see that you have your mic. This is mic. You can either mute or unmute your mic. What does that mean? If you mute your mic, you're going to have a red line on it, meaning whatever you say does not, nobody in the meeting, none of the participants will hear whatever you're saying because your mic is muted. But to unmute, you can just click on it and you will unmute. Now, quickly, beside that, you see your mic setup. Mine is in the default setting. I decided to leave it that way. You can also set up your mic in this place. Whatever you want to set, you can set it there with your mic. Now, close to that, you have your video. You have your video. You can either stop your video. Immediately you stop your video, you also have a red line on it. But what you will have on the screen of all the participants would be your display picture. If you set up a display picture, that is what they will see. But if you don't have a display picture, they'll just have I don't know, maybe your name. They'll have what they will be seeing is just your name without picture. And beside that, you can also see the setup for the video. Now, I wouldn't advise you to set up a visual background because what that visual background does is, if you have a visual background, whenever you're going into a meeting, even before you log into the meeting, the people participating in the meeting or the host would have seen your visual background. And that's, I don't know, it depends on the visual background, but I wouldn't advise you to set that. Now, if you're the host, you would want to make some adjustment to this next feature. I love this feature because it makes Zoom meeting, if you're the host, a little bit easy or tedious for you. Now, this is the security setting. If you click on the security setting, the first thing you'll see there is lock a meeting. Now, what does that mean? If I set up a meeting by 7 a.m., and I set the lockup for 7 a.m. exactly, it means maybe then I start the meeting before 7. Anybody that did not enter the meeting after that time that I set for the lock time will not be able to access the meeting, even if they have the ID. Or whilst the meeting is going on, after I have gotten all the participants, maybe it's a private meeting, it's a board meeting. After I've gotten all the participants that I needed, I can decide to lock the meeting. Meaning, even if somebody have the ID or the password, they can't come into the meeting because the meeting is locked. Now, next to that, you say enable waiting room. What this does is, before any participant comes into the meeting, the host would have to permit the participant. But if maybe I am very busy and I don't have time to permit all the people that want to come into the meeting, I can come here and disable this. If I disable this, it means they can come into the meeting as long as they have the password and the ID. I don't have to permit them when they are coming in. Now, there are certain things you can allow your participants to do. For example, you can allow your participants to share screen. What does that mean? When I am making a Zoom, maybe I am having a lectures, the participants can also share their screens or share their content, or maybe we're looking at what each other is doing. They can share to me, I can share to them. They can see my screen, I can see their screen. You can also enable or disable that. You can also allow your participants to chat among themselves, or you can disable that and they will not be able to chat among themselves. Now, they can also rename themselves if you want to. You can enable it or disable it. Mine is all enabled because I want them to have fun, so they can rename themselves to whatever they want if they want. Now, annotate on shared content. And you can also see remove participants. Maybe I am sending somebody in the background is making noise, or one of these participants is not following, or it's distracting the class, or it's distracting the meeting, and I have sent a private message to the person. I will show you where to do that. You can send a private message and you can send a general message. The private message will be seen by only the person you sent it to, or the general message will be seen by everybody participating in the meeting. Now, if the person is distracting the class, or I don't know, for any reason you want to remove a participant, you can come here and remove that person without ending the meeting. Now, the next feature we're going to look at is the participants feature. Now, if you click on that, you will see all the, now this meeting is just for 2 persons, the host and 1 participant. Now, if you click on this, you will see all the people partaking in this meeting. Now, we have 2 persons in this meeting. There are a few things you can do to the participants of the meeting. Some of those things is this. For example, if I go to more and click, I can send a private chat. I told you can send a private chat to each person. Now, this is where you can do that. You click on the person's name, the more associated to the person's name, and you see chat. If you go to this place, you can send a private message to this person. For example, I can say, sir, your mic is loud. Send. Now, this goes to this person, just that person alone. No other person will see that. Just that person will see this. Now, just that person will see this. There are some other things you can also do. And to your participants, you can also, for example, forbid the person from recording. Now, only the host is allowed to record screen or to record the meeting, but you can decide if you want everybody to record. You can decide if you want just a particular student or a particular board member or whoever participant you want to record. You can decide that. You can rename the persons. I can go to all of them and rename their names. For example, as the host, I can go to Sam Job and rename that. I can go to Ibibia Isaac and rename that. You remember in the other place we looked at, you can also allow them to rename themselves. Then you too, as the host, can also rename them to whatever, I don't know. So you can also put a person in a waiting room. You can also put a person in a waiting room. You can remove a single individual. I also said something about that in the other feature. So these are some of the things you can do with this. Now, quickly, another very important feature I want us to look at is this, is the annotate. Another very important feature I want us to look at is the annotate. Now, but the annotates, you can do a lot of things with the annotate. One of the things you can do is you can, you see, this is your mouse. You can change your mouse. You can also highlight with this. You can highlight with this. For example, if I want to talk about, but we're going to do this again on a plain whiteboard. I know this board is a little bit not too good for this feature, but I want you to see this. That is why I'm doing it here. But look at this very closely. We are going to do it again on a plain whiteboard. But when I start doing it on a plain whiteboard, I want you to know what I am doing. That's why I am doing it here first. So you can also write a text. You see, you can write a text. You come, you click this, and you can write a text. Now, you can change the colors of this text by simply clicking this, and you see, it changes automatically. I can go change another color to whatever color I want. I can make it whatever color I want. You can have a spotlight. If I want to make a reference, maybe I'm trying to explain something and I want to talk about schedule, and maybe I want the student to understand what I'm talking about, I can come here and click this, and this is what I'm talking about. These are some of the features you can do. You can also erase. Now, if you want to erase, you click on the eraser, you come and erase whatever you want to erase. You see, you can also do that. There's a lot you can do. You can undo something and you can redo it. You can undo and you can redo. Then you can clear. Now, the difference between clearing and eraser is, whereas eraser, you have to clean it one after the other, clearing, you can clear all at once. Those are some of the things you can do. Now, yeah, those are some of the things you can do with annotate. Now, you also have here, but first, let me cover this. Okay, yeah. Next, you have a remote control. In this remote control, you can accept all requests. You can give mouse. Basically what the remote control does is giving some people power to be able to participate in the meeting. Also, in this place, what you can do is, you see, you have the small, you can chat, you can record, you can do a whole lot of things. You can also end meeting. Now, you don't end the meeting if you're not ready to end the meeting. This is when you're ready to stop the meeting. That's when you end the meeting. Now, quickly, let me say something about this annotate. Some of the participants can maybe go and be writing on the screen. You can either enable that or disable it. If you want them to be able to write on the screen, on their screen, you can, and guess what? If they write on their screen, everybody will see it. I did that one time. I was in a meeting and I was writing on the screen. I was just learning the features. I think that was the first time I was using Zoom. And I was writing on the screen and everybody was seeing it. And the host was like, who is writing on the screen? I never knew. I was shocked when I was like, how did he know? But I don't know if he enabled show names of annotators. If this was enabled in a system, then definitely it will know that I was the one writing on the screen. So you can, if you want to know people writing on your screen, you can as well enable or disable this and this also. Now, those are some of the things you can do. Now, how do we join a Zoom meeting? If you want to join a Zoom meeting, as you can see, I have this interface because I have Zoom registered already in my system. I have downloaded, run it, and installed it. Now, because I have this, I can go back to meeting, or I can, if I am not already in a meeting, what I will have here is host a meeting. But now I'm already in a meeting, so what I have there is go back to meeting. It will take me to the place with my video. And this, you can see, join a meeting. If you want to join a meeting, as long as you have the password and the ID, you can just go there, fix in those details, and you will join the meeting. Or there's an easy way you can also join a meeting. Maybe they send you the link of the meeting in any of your social media platforms. As long as you have Zoom installed in your laptop or in your phone, just go to either your social media page, click on the link, and it will take you automatically. It will open automatically. But if you don't want to go through that process, you can come here, click join, type the login password, and type the ID, and you will be part of the meeting. But as a host, if you want to schedule a meeting, you can also schedule a meeting by clicking this place. You can schedule a meeting here. You see, topic. You can write now. This I have Sam Job Zoom meeting. I can change that to maybe if I want to have a board meeting, I can change that to whatever I like. I can say Isaac board meeting. You see, I can change that to whatever I like. I can say it's Isaac board meeting. And here you can put the date of the meeting, the time of the meeting. Of course, the date immediately sets this, it automatically sets this up. So the date and the time, unless it's 24 hours, then it will be different. Of course, if it's not 24 hours, then this and this will be the same. Because it has to be from when to when. Unless it is 24 hours, then it won't be the same. But one very important feature I want to say here, when scheduling a meeting, you must make sure you must make sure your time zone is in the right place. For example, you're seeing Bucharest because this is my default. I am in Romania. Bucharest is the capital of Romania. So Bucharest, if I want to set meeting, I have to put it in Bucharest. For example, if I want to set a meeting for Nigerians in Nigeria, I can't allow that to be Bucharest because Nigerian time and Bucharest time is not the same. Look for your time zone when scheduling a meeting. Now, quickly, you also see here we have recurring meeting. What does this mean? It means if I normally, a Zoom meeting takes around 30 minutes, 35, 45 minutes or thereabout. But if you want your meeting to continue nonstop, you can put it in recurring meeting. But that notwithstanding, if you're using the free version, Zoom can decide to stop your meeting when they want. I don't know, they allow you sometimes and maybe they might not. It's safer to pay and have all the full packages. But if you're running a free Zoom meeting, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes you may have exactly the hours you want, but sometimes they might just decide, because I've seen a situation whereby I schedule the meeting and set everything right, but sometimes the meeting stops, sometimes it goes for as long as. So I can't for sure tell you what to do there if you've not paid. Then meeting ID. Now Zoom can generate a meeting ID automatically for you, random ID, or you can use your personal ID. I like to use my personal ID. Why? So that the people that is coming into the meeting can know who is hosting the meeting or who is inviting them for this meeting. Because when you send the IV, they will see the ID and the password. If it is your meeting, then they will know that it's you. So I like to use my, another very important thing I want to say is the video. Now you can control your video and the video of your participants. How do I mean by that? Now, when I want to go into a meeting, I always keep my videos off, because maybe there is something in my background I don't want my participants to see. So if my video is off, I can assess the situation and I can decide to on my video or leave it off after I am already in the meeting. Now, you can also do the same thing for the participant. You can also on or off their video when entering into a meeting. Now, next you have the calendar. I will advise you leave it in this iCalendar because this is more like a more international kind of calendar. Then when you're done with all the setup, then you schedule a meeting. You schedule a meeting. I already have a meeting, so I am not scheduling any meeting. So let's go back. But if you do not have Zoom registered in your system, if you do not have Zoom registered in your system, and maybe you don't have space or you don't have, another way you can log into Zoom is by going to www.zoom.us. When you go to that place, that site, you will see options to join, sign up, or host a meeting for free. If it is join you want to join, click on the join, then write the password and the ID, and you'll be part of the meeting as long as they allow you. Now, those are some of the features you can do. But before I leave, let me quickly talk about sharing your screen. You can also share your screen. So one of the ways you can do that is this. Let me say, yeah, I talked about whiteboard. Let's work on the whiteboard. I said I was going to show you a better place to use the annotates. Because you already know what I was using, I'll just quickly do some of those features here so you can see what I am talking about. Now, this is a platform where you can do all those features. If I want to write a long text, this is the right place to do it, on a whiteboard. I can write and write and write and write and write. You just click next, it goes down. You continue to write. If you want to give space, you can write. You see, it's beautiful. You can have a full lecture with this. And again, you can draw. I believe you remember the way I'm taking all this from. After you have select, you have text, you have draw. In the draw, you have a lot of features, All these are from the annotates. I told you how we use the annotates from the order. You can also have all these vectors. You see? Different signs. You can just try them and you can do as, oh, I like this. You can make a perfect circle also with this. You can make a perfect circle. And you can also make a square or a rectangle. Let me make a rectangle. And you can make a square. Hey, what's the difference between square and rectangle? The four sides of a square should be equal. If you don't know that, now you know. Now, you can also erase all this. You see? You can erase all this by clicking on the eraser. I told us in the annotates when I showed us how to do it, but I will just clear all because I'm running out of time. Now, those are some of the way you can operate with your Zoom meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying put. And if you're the host, when you're done, you can end the meeting. Now, this is just the first phase. This is not all there is about Zoom meeting, but it's going to be very lengthy if we talk about every single feature. So these are just the basic. Now we're going to be making the second tutorial videos that will contain how to set up your settings. We're going to take in details the setups because most of what I just did now are in their default settings, except a few of them that I changed. So thank you very much. Stay safe and stay happy. Try this with your Zoom. If you have a phone, if you have a laptop, just even if you've not registered or you've not paid, you can just go to use the free and check up some of these things because you may never know when you will need to be in a meeting. Thank you and stay safe. Bye.